Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. The NFL season is finally over. Week 17 I did not too bad. I went 3-1 in my video. Won my 2, 3, and 4 pick. My first pick I lost because I thought Kirk Cousins was do exceptionally well, and he did absolutely nothing. That was a horrid display, and if he gets the #1 pay of the quarterback signing next year, I'll be flabbergasted. Totally flabbergasted. 0-1 on my SBR pick. I thought the Lions would just, totally lay dead, but, they did it for Coach Caldwell's last game. Hundley got a contract extension before the game. Stuff that happened right before the game, unknown to me. I thought 7 points was too much, but Detroit just rolled over them, and they just wanted to kill them, as I wouldn't blame them, sweeping the Packers for a season. Haven't did it since '91. My Twitter, I went 1-1. I gave you 2 unders, which both of them would have panned out. The Jags under did cash. The Tampa Bay Bucks in New Orleans would have cashed, but who would have thought the Bucks would have got a last-minute touchdown to win the game, which sailed it over. I did have the Bucks on my pools, and I did actually well on my pools. I went and I won 2 of them, which I went 12-4 overall ATS with all 16 games, which won me some money. I want to go over just brief news. This week I'm going to go over. I'm going to do all my picks on this one video. 8 picks. Overs and unders along with the sides. I'm not going to do an SBR video this week or next week or the Super Bowl either. I just did them throughout the week, give me some more hits. What can you say? Free pick. And I also did, I'm not going to do Twitter either, but you can still contact me on Twitter if you have any questions, things like that. I'm just going to take the rest of the week off, just enjoy everything I can, wait for the games. I'm even going to make my bets after I'm done posting this video. All my bets are going through Bovada. Right here is a screenshot of all the totals and all the sides on the play in Bovada. And if you don't have a sports book, click right there. Bovada. Use me as a reference. The link is below. Check them out. Great odds, great spreads, great money. Have no problems with them whatsoever. Been there 7 years. They even called me recently and asked me if everything's okay. I said, yeah, everything's great. So, and I got a hold of the marketing team, as using these guys as a promo. They pay me well. So use me as a link, as reference is below. Great sports book to be on. Quick news, the firings, of course, that's what everybody wants to know after the season ends. John Fox from Chicago Bears is gone. Chuck Pagano from Indianapolis Colts is gone. Ben McAdoo from Giants, he left a few weeks ago. Jack Del Rio from Oakland. And actually, Raiders are talking with, what's his name, John Gruden. I forget his name. John Gruden. And they're actually offering Mike get a part of the franchise if he'd like to be head coach. Everybody wants to be a winning coach. They think they got a winning team. They just want a winning coach. Lions are no exception. They're talking to Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell's gone for this 4-year extent. He had a winning season after 4 years. He did exceptionally well. Martha Ford don't have much time left. She wants a championship team to win against championship teams like Pittsburgh, anybody over 500, which Lions struggle against, basically. They're talking with Matt Patricia, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, and we've got a lot of personnel in the last few years from the Patriots. And of course, they make exchanges with us all the time, as far as players too. So, but I'd like to see Jim Harbaugh. He's born in the city I'm living in now, and he actually, he was a Wolverine, went to college, played there. He's actually the head coach. Jim Harbaugh is. Feels heart, born and bred, I always say. So I'd try to get him. But, Patricia is a great option as well. Bob Quinn basically came out and said, hey, we want a championship team. Martha Ford's in my office. several times a week. Once the news, she's on his butt all the time. That's the GM for Lions, and they're just trying to get it done. So I know I've chatted a lot. Some people say, hey, stop chatting so much, just get it on with the picks. I understand. So let's get these picks rolling. My fourth pick of the week, my upset pick of the week, we got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Los Angeles Rams. The Atlanta Falcons are a 6-point dog, and the strength of schedule is one of the things I seek out as far as the playoffs go. The Atlanta Falcons started out as the 13th hardest schedule and ended up by the end of the year overall being the 4th hardest. So all their opponents have changed a lot harder as where they were last year. The Rams, 17th hardest schedule by the beginning of the season from the prior year schedule to by the end of the season end up being 11th hardest. So there's one up as well, but not as hard as the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are 3-4 in the wild card, as the Rams were 3-5 in the wild card history-wise. It's pretty even stats. The Rams 4-4 straight up and ATS at home, as Atlanta 2-6 on the road. The Rams offense is 10th ranked and 19th defense ranked. Atlanta Falcons are the 8th ranked offense and the 9th ranked defense. So Atlanta again just a little bit better than the Rams. And the Atlanta, this is what I like the most, Atlanta Falcons are 4-0 in the last 4 meetings in the Rams history. So not too bad. This game's a Saturday game. The under and over is at 48.5. So I'm telling you to pick the Atlanta Falcons plus the 6 and over 48.5. My third pick of the week, we got the Tennessee Titans traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Tennessee Titans are a 8-point dog. And I think this point spread is just a little inflated. Tennessee Titans are 7-5 of the wild card history, 3-3 on the road, 6-1 ATS on teams over 500. Okay, so that means it's 6-1 ATS this year on teams that are over 500. Keep that in mind. 5-1 ATS in Kansas City overall in history, and 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games this year. So that's an excellent spread there. Kansas City's defense is 25th in the rush and 29th in the pass, whereas Tennessee's 4th in the rush and 25th in the pass, defensive-wise. Tennessee's known for a great rushing team. Keep it low, keep it on the score. This is the next Saturday game. Strength of schedule. Tennessee, you know, they started out the 30th ranked schedule and ended up 31st. So, you know, the teams they played were, you know, mostly in the division did just as well as they did last year. And Kansas City started out the 2nd ranked strength of schedule, but ended up being the 22nd. So they dropped, so they had an easier schedule than anticipated. The offense, Kansas City, you know, they sat most of their players last year. But I think Tennessee, basically what it comes down to, Tennessee plays their opponents close. I'm not saying they're going to win this game. I said that 8 points is just way too much for me, especially over teams over 500 like Kansas City. Like I said before, 6-1 ATS against teams over 500. And that one game they lost was the one at Pittsburgh, you know. So, but like I said, I even took it then. So, like I said, Tennessee, close game, close matchup. I'm taking, so this week I'll tell you on that Saturday game to take Tennessee plus the 8 and under 44.5. My second pick of the week, we got Buffalo Bills traveling to Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars are an 8-point favorite. And this game I was going back and forth on over and over again. The Buffalo Bills they heavily rely on this Sean McCoy. I had to look up his stats and how often they use him. So they use him, he's the 4th leading rusher in the NFL, so that tells me they use him a lot in run game. And in the pass game, they use him 59% of their passes. So over half their passes go to LeSean McCoy, Shady McCoy. So when I look at the defense of Jacksonville, which is ranked number 2 and number 1 in the pass, you could rush against them, but if McCoy, not 100%. And when I looked at, the recent news on his ankle injury, because they carted him out last week, he has a chance he's playing. His x-rays were negative as far as anything broken or anything strained. He might be limited or not 100%. So that just tells me the majority, 60% or more of the Buffalo Bills' offense is going to be limited or not 100%. Again, the Buffalo Bills, this is a back-to-back road game with them. And Jacksonville, as much as, their offense, they could, Blake Bortles could throw 10 interceptions in one game. Maybe 3 or 4, you never know. So he's inconsistent. So I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars -8 and over 39.5. And my number 1 pick of the week, we got the Carolina Panthers traveling to the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are a 6-point home favorite. And as I was watching news articles, someone said, it's hard to beat the same team 3 times in a row in a single season. The New Orleans Saints have won the first 2 meetings 34-13 and 31-21 in New Orleans. And the first matchup, Cam Newton threw 3 interceptions. The second one, they both made mistakes. But New Orleans Saints was dominating that whole game. They got a junk TD at the end because they were down by 17 points. Nonetheless, both of them cover the 6-point spread. And to look up that stat, since 1970, team with the previous 2 meetings have won the previous 2 meetings are 12-7. So 12 times out of 19 times they will win 3 times in a row. So New Orleans is definitely the favorite and should be the favorite. Looking up the stats this year, New Orleans 7-1 at home, 4-4 ATS wise. Carolina's 5-3 away and 5-3 ATS. Carolina's 0-6 ATS against New Orleans in their last 6 meetings. 1-4 ATS in New Orleans, ATS wise, and 3-10 ATS when rushing less than 90 yards in their previous game, Carolina. So all roads point to Saints here. They dominated them earlier twice this year. Saints have a great running game, and you got Drew Brees to back them up. The defense is getting much better. I think the Carolina defense is a little bit better than the Saints, but like I said, they're at home. And how I react as far as Carolina goes, if Cam Newton's coming out flying with a cape and he's in a great mood, they have a good shot. But if he just comes out normal, a little towel over his head and just sits on the bench, not so well. But I think the Saints will get this done. They seem to be a very powerful team this year. So I'm taking the New Orleans Saints -6 and over 48.5. Well, that about wraps that up. I hope you enjoyed the 8 picks this week. I always keep the score and how well I do throughout the season. And like I said, I've mentioned before, check out Bovada. Links below. Check them out. My Twitter is also down there, which I won't be doing any Twitter picks the rest of the season. But if you want to, when I post my videos, you can also like and subscribe. Check out that little bell button. And more prognosticators, links below. Check them out as well. and get their valued opinion and gather them all up and make a decision yourself on who you're going to bet on, and I hope you win a ton of money. So I will see you next week. Enjoy, and let's win some cash. Peace.